The metal doors slid open with a soft hiss. Ambassador Zriluk stepped into the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, his four tentacle-like arms trembling slightly. Hundreds of representatives from across the galaxy sat in a circular arrangement, their attention now fixed on the blue-skinned diplomat. Esteemed members of the council, Zrilux began, his translator device converting his clicks and whistles into the standard galactic language. I bring disturbing news from the observation post near the Sol system. The council head, a tall, willowy being named Vorax, leaned forward. Speak, Ambassador. What troubles you about this primitive world? Zrilux connected his data device to the central projector. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a small blue planet. Earth, he said simply. Our estimates were wrong. The humans have advanced far more quickly than we predicted. The chamber filled with murmurs. Earth had been classified as a pre-contact civilization, at least 2 centuries away from developing faster-than-light travel. Our monitoring stations have intercepted communications from their scientific facilities, Drilks continued. They have already developed theoretical models for FTL travel. Their mathematical understanding of space-time is unexpected. On the other side of the galaxy, Dr. Olivia Martinez stared at her computer screen, rubbing her tired eyes. The data made no sense. For the 3rd night in a row, the Deep Space Telescope Array had picked up energy signatures near Jupiter that defied explanation. Still at it, Doc? Olivia looked up to see Captain Daniel Wright standing in the doorway of her lab, 2 cups of coffee in hand. He was new to NASA's Deep Space Research Division, assigned as military liaison after her team's strange discoveries. These readings can't be natural, she said, accepting the coffee gratefully. Whatever's causing them is artificial. Wright pulled up a chair beside her. He wasn't a scientist, but the Air Force had sent him for a reason. You're saying it's a spacecraft? I'm saying it's something that doesn't belong there, Olivia replied carefully. And it's using energy in ways we've only theorized about. Back at the council headquarters, the debate had grown heated. We must establish contact, immediately, insisted Representative Clogg, a reptilian being from the Orion sector. If humans achieve FTL capability without proper guidance, they could pose a threat to established trade routes and colonies. That would violate our non-interference protocols, countered a crystalline entity who represented the ancient Arxian collective. The humans haven't left their solar system yet. Zrilux displayed more data. There's more. They've begun experimenting with quantum entanglement communication. Their weapons technology is advancing rapidly as well. The council head called for order as the chamber erupted in concerned voices. What makes these humans so different? Asked a representative from the Peaceful Luminary Alliance. Many species reach this stage of development. It's their adaptation rate, Zrilux explained. Most species take generations to incorporate new technologies into their society. Humans implement changes within years, sometimes months. They've gone from primitive flight to space exploration in less than a century. On Earth, Captain Wright reviewed security footage from the facility. Something about the energy signatures had prompted his superiors to triple security around Martinez's lab. He wasn't told why, but his instinct said this was bigger than just unusual readings. Olivia appeared at his side, excitement evident on her face despite her exhaustion. I need you to see this, she said, leading him back to the lab. I've been analyzing the pattern of the energy bursts. They're regular, too regular to be natural. Wright studied the graph she displayed. It looks like a signal. Exactly. I think something or someone is trying to communicate. The next morning, NASA Director Bill Foster called an emergency meeting. Representatives from multiple government agencies filled the conference room. Many faces Wright didn't recognize. Dr. Martinez, please share your findings, Foster said, his expression grave. Olivia stood, suddenly aware of how serious this had become. The object near Jupiter is approximately 20 meters in length. It's generating energy in a pattern consistent with artificial design. Based on its trajectory, it wasn't caught by Jupiter's gravity. It placed itself there deliberately. A woman in a dark suit spoke up. And you're certain this isn't Russian, Chinese, European? No human technology could do this, Olivia stated firmly. The energy output alone would require power sources we haven't developed yet. The room fell silent as the implication sank in. At the Galactic Council, the vote was nearly unanimous. After hours of debate, they decided to send an alert to all spacefaring civilizations about humanity's rapid advancement. The humans must be monitored more closely, the Council had declared, and we must prepare for the possibility of early contact. Ambassador Zryalx was appointed to lead the contact preparation team. As the session ended, he approached Kretal, a pink-skinned diplomat known for her expertise in emerging civilizations. "What do you make of these humans?" Zryalx asked privately. Kretal's four eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep thought. "They are interesting. Their history is filled with both terrible violence and remarkable cooperation. They might become valuable allies, or dangerous enemies." 3 days later, Captain Wright stood beside Olivia in NASA's main control room, as they prepared to capture high-resolution images of the object near Jupiter. The tension in the room was palpable. "Beginning scan sequence," announced one of the technicians. The screens filled with data as the most powerful telescopes on Earth focused on the mysterious object. Slowly, an image took shape, sleek, metallic, with strange markings along its hull. "That's not natural," Wright whispered. "It's a probe," Olivia said, her voice a mix of awe and vindication. "An alien probe." Director Foster immediately called Washington. Within hours, military vessels were dispatched to secure the area around the Deep Space Research Facility. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She sat in her office, reviewing the images over and over. There was no doubt now. Humanity was not alone. A knock on her door startled her. Captain Wright entered, his face serious. "Things are moving quickly," he said. "I've been ordered to assemble a first contact team. Your name is at the top of the list." Olivia stared at him, her heart racing. "Are they coming here?" Wright hesitated before answering. "We think they already are." As dawn broke over the facility, a fleet of black government vehicles arrived. Earth was about to change forever, unaware that across the galaxy, countless alien species had just been warned about them. 3 months passed since the discovery of the alien probe. The world had changed overnight when governments finally revealed the truth to the public. Panic gave way to wonder, and wonder to preparation. Dr. Olivia Martinez stared out the window of the newly established First Contact Center, a massive compound built in record time near the original NASA facility. Outside, protesters and supporters alike gathered daily, holding signs that ranged from "Welcome Space Friends" to "Earth First." "Quite a crowd today," said Captain Wright as he entered her office. He now wore a new uniform, created specifically for the Human Diplomatic Defense Force. "They're scared," Olivia replied. "I don't blame them." Wright nodded. "The aliens arrive tomorrow. Are you ready?" Before she could answer, Alan Garcia knocked on the open door. As the State Department's top negotiator, he had been assigned to lead the diplomatic efforts. "Meeting in 5 minutes," Garcia said. "The President wants one final briefing before our guests arrive." The three of them walked through the facility's gleaming corridors. Staff members hurried about making last-minute preparations. The air smelled of fresh paint and new electronics. "What do we know about them?" Garcia asked. 7 different species, all part of something called the Galactic Council, Olivia explained. "Their message said they're coming to establish formal relations, but..." "But what?" Wright pressed. "Their transmission mentioned concerns about our technological development. I think they're worried about us." In the main conference room, military officers and government officials gathered around a large table. Screens displayed images of the approaching alien vessels now in orbit around Earth. The President entered and everyone stood. "Tomorrow humanity enters a new era," she said. "Dr. Martinez, what should we expect?" Olivia activated her tablet. Based on their communications, they have strict diplomatic protocols. They consider physical contact a serious breach of etiquette during first meetings. They expect us to present our highest-ranking officials first, followed by exchanges of cultural information. Only after that will they discuss technology or trade. Garcia added, "We should be prepared for misunderstandings. Their concept of time differs from ours. What they consider a brief introduction might last hours." Across the vast expanse of space aboard the Council's diplomatic vessel, Ambassador Zrilks met with the contact team. "Remember," he instructed the 7 representatives, "humans are unpredictable. Their emotional responses can shift rapidly. Do not make promises without Council approval." Kretel, now assigned as cultural specialist, spoke up. "We should acknowledge their achievements. They will respond better to respect than to condescension." "Their achievements are precisely what concern us," replied Dorn, the security chief. His gray, armored skin reflected the ship's lights as he paced. "Their weapons technologies have advanced too quickly." Zrilux raised all 4 of his arms, calling for silence. "We follow the Council's directive. Establish peaceful contact. Assess their intentions and ensure they understand galactic law regarding expansion and warfare." The next day arrived with clear skies. The alien ship descended slowly, landing with surprising grace on the designated area. News cameras from around the world broadcasted the historic moment. Olivia stood beside Wright and Garcia as part of the reception committee. Her heart pounded as the ship's door opened with a hiss of escaping air. 7 beings emerged, each drastically different from the next. Leading them was Zrilux, his blue skin shimmering in Earth's sunlight. Behind him came creatures that seemed pulled from both dreams and nightmares. A floating crystalline entity, a massive reptilian being, a slender figure with 4 eyes, and others equally strange. The president stepped forward. "On behalf of humanity, I welcome you to Earth." The translator devices worked perfectly, converting her words into sounds the aliens could understand. Zrilux responded with clicks and whistles that transformed into English. "The Galactic Council extends greetings to Earth. We come in peace and with purpose." The formal introductions lasted 3 hours. By the time they moved to the negotiation room, Olivia noticed Wright's growing frustration with the slow pace. Garcia, however, seemed perfectly at ease, matching the aliens' methodical approach. "We wish to understand your intentions regarding space exploration," Zrilux finally said when the topic turned to substantive matters. "We are an exploring species," the president replied. "We seek knowledge and peaceful contact with other civilizations." Dorn, the security chief, made a harsh sound. "Yet your military resources exceed what is necessary for planetary defense." Garcia stepped in smoothly. "Our history has taught us to be cautious, but we have no hostile intentions toward other worlds." The meeting continued into the evening. When they finally adjourned, Olivia felt exhausted but excited. This was everything she had dreamed of as a scientist. Contact with beings who could answer questions about the universe that humans had pondered for centuries. Later that night, Olivia worked late in her lab, analyzing data from the alien ship. Wright entered carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Old habits," he said, offering her one. "How did it go today, really?" she sighed. "They're holding back. They have technology centuries beyond ours, but they barely mentioned it." "I noticed that too," Wright confirmed. "And their security chief kept asking about our missile defense systems." A soft knock interrupted them. To their surprise, Kretel stood in the doorway. "May I enter?" the 4-eyed alien asked. "I came alone." Wright tensed, but Olivia nodded. "Please come in." Kretel glided forward. "I must speak privately. What I say is not official council policy." "We're listening," Olivia said cautiously. "Not everyone on the council supports peaceful relations with humans," Kretel explained. "Some fear your species. You advance too. Quickly adapt too readily. It frightens them." Wright frowned. "So this diplomatic mission is just for show?" "No," Kretel replied. "But there are other meetings happening." "What do you mean?" Olivia asked. "Representatives from the Orion sector have arranged private discussions with your military contractors. They offer technology in exchange for alliances that bypass council authority." Wright and Olivia exchanged worried glances. If alien factions were making separate deals with Earth businesses or governments, it could lead to dangerous imbalances of power. Why tell us this? Right, demanded. All four of Kretel's eyes blinked in sequence. Because true stability comes from honest exchange, not manipulation. Your species deserves the chance to join the galactic community on fair terms. After Kretel left, Olivia stared at the star charts on her screen. We need to tell Garcia, she said, and we need to find out who's meeting with the Orion representatives. Wright nodded grimly. I have security clearance to check visitor logs. If unauthorized meetings are happening, I'll find out. As they prepared to leave, Olivia's computer chimed with an alert. A message appeared. Coordinates for a meeting scheduled the next day between an Orion diplomat and executives from Earth's largest defense contractor. Not everyone who comes bearing gifts has your best interests at heart, Kretel had warned before leaving. The game was bigger and more dangerous than they had imagined. Humanity's first steps into galactic politics would require careful navigation through alien agendas they barely understood. 6 months had passed since first contact. Earth now hosted 7 alien embassies, each designed to accommodate the unique biological needs of its occupants. The Galactic Council maintained its main diplomatic center in Geneva. While smaller, outposts appeared in major cities worldwide. Major Daniel Wright, recently promoted, walked through the secure area of the Human Space Defense Command. New security protocols had been implemented after they discovered unauthorized meetings between alien representatives and Earth corporations. His uniform now carried the patch of the newly formed Interstellar Security Division. Status report, he asked the officer monitoring the detection grid. All quiet, sir. Council ships maintain their approved orbits. Wright nodded, but something didn't feel right. The aliens had been generous with certain technologies, medical advances, agricultural improvements, but extremely protective of anything related to faster-than-light travel or advanced weapon systems. His secure phone buzzed. It was Olivia. Need to see you, she said, her voice tight. My lab. Now. When Wright arrived, Dr. Martinez was reviewing complex equations on multiple screens. In the 6 months since first contact, her department had grown from a small research team to a major division employing hundreds of scientists. Look at this, she said without greeting him. The theoretical physics the Council shared with us has a flaw. Wright studied the screen but couldn't make sense of the symbols. What kind of flaw? An intentional one. Olivia pulled up another screen showing different equations. These are our calculations based on what we've learned. But when I cross-referenced them with some of the alien tech we've examined, I found discrepancies. They're giving us broken science? Wright asked, frowning. Not broken. Limited. Olivia's eyes gleamed with excitement. They're trying to slow us down, but we're filling in the gaps faster than they expected. Before Wright could respond, Alan Garcia entered the lab. The diplomat looked tired. Dark circles shadowed his eyes after countless negotiation sessions. We have a problem, Garcia said. The Council has called an emergency session about the human situation. Our observers aren't invited. That can't be good, Wright muttered. Across the solar system, aboard the massive Council station that had been positioned near Mars, representatives from over 30 species gathered in the Grand Chamber. Ambassador Rilk stood before them presenting his report. Humans have integrated our medical technology at unprecedented rates, he explained. Diseases that plagued them for centuries are being eliminated. Their agricultural output has increased by 40% using our basic cultivation methods. That is not the issue, interrupted Dorn, the security chief. Tell them about the weapons. Zryalx's tentacle arms moved in a gesture of reluctance. Some Earth nations have attempted to adapt our civilian technology for military applications. However, the safeguards we implemented have prevented major breaches, representatives murmured among themselves. A delegate from the ancient Arxian collective rose to speak. The question before us is not what humans have done, but what they might do, the crystalline being said. Their history is filled with conflict. If they achieve true interstellar capability, they could destabilize established territories. Kretel, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. We should remember that many of our own species had violent periods in their development. Humans have shown remarkable ability to cooperate when necessary. You are too sympathetic to them, Dorn accused. The fact remains that their rate of technological adaptation exceeds safety parameters. I propose we implement Article 47. The chamber erupted in debate. Article 47 would restrict human expansion beyond their solar system until they completed a minimum 1,000-year probationary period. Back on Earth, Wright met with his intelligence team. Reports had come in about unusual movements of Council ships. They've repositioned 3 vessels with weapons capabilities, his analyst reported. Still in allowed zones, but now they can monitor all traffic between Earth and our lunar base. That's not a coincidence, Wright said. Double the security on all our research facilities, especially Dr. Martinez's lab. In Geneva, Garcia sat across from representatives of the Luminary Alliance, one of the more peaceful factions in the Council. We value our relationship with Earth, the Luminary ambassador said, her translucent skin glowing softly. But we must warn you that certain Council members are pushing for restrictions on human development. On what grounds? Garcia asked. Fear, she replied simply. You learn too quickly. Some species took millennia to develop technologies you've mastered in months. Garcia leaned forward. We've complied with all technology exchange protocols. Yes, the ambassador agreed. But there are rumors that humans have made advances beyond what should be possible with the information shared. In her lab, Olivia worked furiously with her team. They had made a breakthrough that she hadn't even shared with Wright yet. By combining Council physics with human theoretical work, they had developed a prototype energy system that might enable faster-than-light travel. Final simulation complete, her assistant announced. The equations check out. Olivia stared at the results in amazement. They were wrong about us, she whispered. They thought the gaps in their equations would take us decades to fill. Her secure line beeped. It was right. We have a situation, he said without preamble. Council ships are moving into new positions, and we just intercepted communications about something called Article 47. I need to show you something, Olivia replied. But not over the phone. How soon can you get here? Within an hour, Wright, Olivia, and Garcia met in a secure room deep beneath the research facility. First, the bad news, Garcia began. My sources in Geneva confirm the Council is debating restrictions on human space travel. They want to confine us to our solar system, potentially for centuries. Wright slammed his fist on the table. That's why they're repositioning their ships. Preparation for enforcement. Now the good news, Olivia said, activating a secure terminal. An image appeared showing a small spacecraft unlike any they had seen before. This is Pathfinder. We built it in secret, using what we learned from Council technology, combined with our own research. Garcia stared at the image. What can it do? If our calculations are correct, Olivia said, her voice barely containing her excitement, it can achieve faster-than-light travel. Wright and Garcia exchanged stunned looks. The Council deliberately gave us incomplete physics, Olivia continued. But they underestimated human creativity. We filled in the gaps. If they find out about this, Garcia began. That's why we kept it compartmentalized, Wright said. Only a dozen people know the full scope of the project. A technician rushed into the room. Major Wright, urgent message from space monitoring. Multiple Council vessels have changed orbit. They're heading toward Earth in formation. Wright's face hardened. They know. Or they suspect, Garcia suggested. Either way, we need to decide what to do with Pathfinder. Olivia looked at the image of the small ship that represented humanity's first true step to the stars. We launch it, she said firmly. Tonight, before they can stop us. As the 3 humans made their plans, Ambassador Zrilks stood before the Council, which had just voted to implement Article 47. The humans must be contained, Dorn declared triumphantly, for the safety of all. Only Kretal and a few others had voted against the measure. She approached Zrilks after the session. We've made a mistake, she said quietly. Humans won't accept these limitations. They have no choice, Zrilks replied. Their technology is no match for Council enforcement. Kretal's 4 eyes blinked sadly. That's what worries me. When cornered, humans have always done the impossible. The night was clear and still as the Pathfinder sat on its launch pad, hidden deep in the Nevada desert. The sleek ship gleamed under the floodlights, its unusual design unlike any spacecraft humans had built before. Only essential personnel remained at the facility, sworn to secrecy about what would happen in the next few hours. Dr. Olivia Martinez checked the final calculations on her tablet. Her hands trembled slightly from a mix of excitement and fear. Everything they had worked for came down to this moment. Pre-flight checks complete, reported the chief engineer. All systems nominal. Major Wright entered the control room, his face grim. Council ships have entered Earth's atmosphere. They're demanding to inspect all research facilities. Do they know about this location? Olivia asked. Not yet, but they're scanning for unusual energy signatures. We don't have much time. Alan Garcia rushed in, still wearing his formal diplomatic attire. He had just returned from an emergency meeting with Council representatives. They've officially enacted Article 47, he announced. Earth is under quarantine. No human vessels are permitted beyond Mars orbit. Wright's jaw tightened. They can't do that. We haven't signed any treaty accepting their authority. They don't care, Garcia replied. They believe they're protecting the galaxy from us. Olivia looked through the window at the Pathfinder. Then we show them they're wrong. We launch now. The pilot, Captain Susan Rivera, was already aboard. A veteran of 3 space missions, she had been secretly training for this flight for months. Her voice came through the speakers. Control, I'm ready when you are. Wright took charge. Begin launch sequence. All security teams on high alert. Engineers and technicians moved with practiced efficiency. The countdown began as the ship's revolutionary engines powered up. Unlike conventional rockets, the Pathfinder used the theoretical principles Olivia's team had developed, creating a localized distortion field that would, if successful, allow faster-than-light travel. In orbit above Earth, Ambassador Zrilks received an urgent message from one of the Council's scanning vessels. We detect an unusual energy pattern in the Earth region, designated as North America, the officer reported. It doesn't match any known human technology. Zrilks felt all 4 of his hearts race. Send coordinates to all ships in the area. I want visual confirmation immediately. Dorn, who had accompanied the ambassador to oversee the implementation of Article 47, moved to the command console. If the humans are testing unauthorized technology, we must stop them. Back at the launch site, alarms suddenly blared. We've been detected, a technician called out. Council ship approaching from the west, moving fast. Wright made a quick decision. Accelerate the launch sequence. We need to get Pathfinder out of here now. The drive system needs 2 more minutes to stabilize, Olivia protested. We don't have 2 minutes, Wright replied. Outside, the desert night was split by bright lights as a Council vessel moved into position above the facility. A booming voice echoed from it. This is Council enforcement. Power down all systems immediately. You are in violation of Article 47. Garcia grabbed a communication headset. This is Earth diplomat Alan Garcia. We acknowledge your presence, but we are conducting a lawful test within our sovereign territory. Stall them, Wright whispered. While Garcia engaged in diplomatic double-talk, Olivia worked frantically with her team to complete the launch preparations. The Pathfinder's engines emitted a soft blue glow as they reached operational status. Ready for launch, Captain Rivera reported from the ship. Launch now, Wright ordered. The Pathfinder rose silently from the pad, its revolutionary drive creating none of the fire and smoke of traditional rockets. For a moment, it hovered, bathed in blue light. The Council ship immediately responded, firing a warning shot that struck the ground near the facility. Cease your launch immediately or we will take action, the Council voice demanded. Inside the Pathfinder, Captain Rivera engaged the main drive. The ship shot upward at incredible speed, faster than any Earth vessel had moved before. The Council ship attempted to follow but couldn't match the acceleration. They're pursuing, Wright observed, watching the tracking screens. But they can't. Catch up. In the control room, cheers erupted as the Pathfinder reached the edge of Earth's atmosphere in mere minutes rather than the usual hours. "Now for the real test," Olivia said, her eyes fixed on the data streaming in. "Engaging FTL system in 3, 2, 1. On the main screen, they watched as the Pathfinder seemed to stretch and then vanish in a flash of light. "Did it work?" Garcia asked, his voice hushed. For several tense seconds there was no response. Then Captain Rivera's voice came through, filled with wonder. "Control. It worked. We've passed Jupiter's orbit. The stars look different." Aboard the Council flagship, chaos erupted as sensors lost track of the human vessel. "Impossible," Dorn snarled. "They can't have FTL capability." Zrelix stared at the readings in disbelief. "Alert the Council immediately. The humans have broken quarantine." In Geneva, the Council's Earth embassy became a flurry of activity. Representatives from all 7 species gathered in emergency session. The news spread quickly to their homeworlds. Humans had achieved faster-than-light travel despite the Council's precautions. As dawn broke over the Nevada desert, Wright, Olivia, and Garcia were summoned to an emergency meeting with Earth's highest officials. The successful launch of the Pathfinder had changed everything. "The Council is demanding answers," the President informed them, "and threatening consequences." "What kind of consequences?" Wright asked. "Military intervention," the Secretary of Defense replied grimly. "They're moving warships into our system." Garcia shook his head. "It would be madness for them to attack us. It would unite all humanity against them." "Perhaps that's what they fear most," Olivia suggested. "A united human response." The President nodded slowly. "Dr. Martinez, you've been summoned to appear before the Council. They want you to explain how humans managed to develop FTL technology." Olivia felt her stomach tighten. "They want to know if we reverse-engineered their technology." "Did we?" the President asked directly. "No," Olivia replied firmly. "We used their information as a starting point, but the breakthrough was entirely human. They gave us incomplete physics, assuming we couldn't fill in the gaps. They were wrong." As they discussed strategy, Wright received an urgent message. His face darkened as he read it. "A Council warship has entered the solar system. It's demanding inspection of all Earth military facilities." The President stood. "Denied. We've complied with reasonable diplomatic protocols, but we won't surrender our sovereignty." Garcia looked worried. "This could escalate quickly." "It already has," Wright pointed out, "but we have an advantage they don't expect." "What's that?" the President asked. Olivia smiled slightly. "The Pathfinder isn't our only prototype, and it's not our most advanced." In deep space, Captain Rivera guided the Pathfinder through its historic first flight. Her voice came through to Mission Control, filled with emotion. "Control, you won't believe what I'm seeing. The stars. There are so many of them. And they're so clear. We did it. We really did it." As humanity celebrated its first steps beyond the solar system, the Council prepared its response. What they didn't understand was that by trying to contain humanity, they had only accelerated what they feared most: humans among the stars. The Council warship Dominant hovered over Earth's North Atlantic, its massive form casting shadows over the ocean below. 3 smaller Council vessels flanked it in attack formation. Their weapon systems remained active, a clear threat to the planet below. On the bridge of the Dominant, Admiral Vortek of the Orion Defense Fleet addressed his officers. His reptilian features showed no emotion, but his tail twitched with anticipation. "The humans have violated Council directive," he stated. "We have authorization to conduct inspections of all their facilities by force if necessary." A communications officer interrupted. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the human leadership." The main screen activated, showing the Earth President flanked by military officers. "This is the President of the United Earth Alliance. Your vessels have entered Earth's sovereign airspace without permission. You will withdraw immediately." Admiral Vortek made a dismissive gesture. "Your planet is under Council jurisdiction according to Article 47. Stand down your defenses and prepare for inspection teams." The President's expression hardened. We recognize no such authority over Earth. This is your final warning. The transmission ended. Admiral Vortek turned to his weapons officer. Target their largest military installation. A demonstration is required. Deep below the Nevada desert, in a secure bunker near where Pathfinder had launched, Dr. Olivia Martinez watched the confrontation unfold on multiple screens. Major Wright stood beside her, his face tense. "They're targeting Peterson Space Force Base," an analyst reported. Wright grabbed a secure phone. "All units on high alert. Prepare defensive measures." Olivia looked up from her console. "Hold on. We have another option." She pressed a series of commands. On a separate screen, a live feed showed a massive underground hangar where a ship twice the size of Pathfinder waited. Unlike its predecessor, this vessel bristled with unusual equipment. "Introducing Defender," Olivia said. "Our second prototype. While Pathfinder was built for speed, Defender was built for other purposes." "What kind of purposes?" Wright asked. "You'll see." In Geneva, Alan Garcia faced a hostile gathering of council representatives. The emergency session had turned into what felt like a trial. "Humanity has demonstrated dangerous levels of technological development," Ambassador Zryalx declared. "You stole our science and weaponized it." Garcia remained calm. "We did not steal anything. You shared information, and we learned from it. Is that a crime?" "You developed FTL technology despite our safeguards," Dorn accused. "This proves humans cannot be trusted." "Or perhaps," Garcia suggested, "it proves you underestimated us." Cretal, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. "We should consider that our approach may have been flawed. Restricting humans has only accelerated their progress." Dorn slammed his fist on the table. "Enough! The Council has made its decision. The human quarantine will be enforced." As if on cue, everyone's communication devices chimed with an urgent alert. The Council warship Dominant had powered its main weapons array, targeting Earth. Back over the Atlantic, Admiral Vortek gave the final order. "Fire warning shot. Target their sea, not land." A brilliant beam of energy shot from the Dominant, striking the ocean. It created a massive column of steam and water that rose thousands of feet into the air. The message was clear: submit or face destruction. In the Nevada bunker, Olivia made her decision. "Launch Defender. Now." The underground hangar doors slid open. The ship rose silently, its sleek form glinting in the desert sun before it accelerated. At impossible speed, vanishing from visual tracking almost instantly. "What exactly can this ship do?" Wright asked. "Everything Pathfinder can do, plus defensive measures we developed by studying Council weapons signatures." Aboard the Dominant, alarms suddenly blared. "Unknown vessel approaching at extreme velocity," an officer reported, his voice rising in panic. Admiral Vortek straightened. "Impossible. No human ship could—" He never finished the sentence. The Defender appeared seemingly out of nowhere, positioning itself between the Council warships and Earth. "Council vessels," came Captain Rivera's voice over the communication system. "This is Captain Susan Rivera of the Earth ship Defender. Power down your weapons, or we will defend ourselves." Admiral Vortek laughed. "One human ship against our fleet? Scan their weapons capabilities." The science officer performed the scan, then stared at his readings in disbelief. "Admiral, their ship is generating an energy field unlike anything in our records. It's absorbing our sensor probes." "Fire a disabling shot," Vortek ordered. The Dominant fired a precision beam at the Defender. Instead of striking the ship, the energy seemed to bend around it, dissipating harmlessly. "What just happened?" Vortek demanded. In the Nevada bunker, Olivia smiled as the data streamed in. "The deflection field works perfectly. We adapted their own technology but took it in a direction they never considered." On screen, they watched as the Defender released dozens of small drone-like objects that quickly surrounded the Council ships. "What are those?" Wright asked. "Non-lethal neutralizers," Olivia explained. "They can disable their propulsion systems without harming the crews." The drones activated simultaneously, creating a network of energy fields that engulfed the Council vessels. One by one, the alien ships went dark, their systems failing. In Geneva, the Council representatives watched in stunned silence as their mighty warships were neutralized by a single human vessel. "This is impossible," Dorn whispered. Garcia stood. "Not impossible, just human ingenuity. Now shall we discuss a new relationship between Earth and the Council, as equals?" The following day, representatives from both Earth and the Council met aboard a neutral vessel in orbit. The mood was tense, but respectful. "The Council has reconsidered its position," Ambassador Zrilks announced. "Article 47 has been suspended, pending further review." "And the warships?" the Earth President asked. "Will be withdrawn once their systems are restored," Zrilks assured her. Kretal stepped forward. "More importantly, we propose a new framework for human-council relations, one based on mutual respect rather than restriction." Wright leaned toward Olivia and whispered, "They're only doing this because we showed we could beat them." "Maybe," she replied, "but it's a start." Later, as Olivia, Wright, and Garcia watched the Council ships depart from Earth orbit, they reflected on how quickly events had unfolded. "I still can't believe how fast we've advanced," Garcia said. "From discovering their probe to developing FTL technology in less than a year." "That's what they feared most about us," Olivia noted. "Our capacity to adapt and innovate." Wright smiled slightly. "So what's next?" "Captain Rivera reports the Pathfinder has mapped 5 potential habitable systems already," Olivia replied. "And there are thousands more within our reach now." "And the Council?" Garcia asked. "They'll adjust," Olivia said confidently. "They have no choice." 1 month later, the first official human delegation arrived at the Galactic Council headquarters. As Olivia, Wright, and Garcia stepped into the Grand Chamber, representatives from hundreds of species watched with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The Council had addressed them formally. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community, as full members with all rights and responsibilities thereof." As the ceremony concluded, Kretal approached the humans privately. "You should know," she said quietly, "that many species are eager to establish direct relations with Earth. Your unique approach to problems has attracted considerable interest. We look forward to working with all peaceful species," Garcia assured her. As they prepared to return to their quarters, Wright noticed a group of alien diplomats watching them intently. "I think we've made quite an impression," he remarked. Olivia smiled. "This is just the beginning. Imagine what we'll accomplish in a decade, or a century." Across the chamber, Ambassador Zrilks observed the humans with his 4 assistants. "Perhaps we should have left them alone after all," one assistant commented. Zrilks's tentacle arms made a gesture of resignation. "Too late now. The humans have arrived, and the galaxy will never be the same."